Right. Okay. So just so that we know, we're sort of working on ketones. So, and why do I not say to you, you should be measuring ketosis? And so this is where I'm just going into a little bit of blurb about it. So basically, ketones are molecules that your liver produces from fats when your body doesn't have enough insulin to turn sugar or glucose into energy. This process typically occurs during periods of low carbohydrate intake, such as when you're following a carnivore or ketogenic diet. However, relying on ketone measurements can be misleading, especially with urine strips. So the reason is when we go into ketosis, ketones appear in the urine when your body first adjusts to burning fat for fuel. Over time, as your body becomes more efficient at utilizing ketones for energy, fewer ketones are excreted in the urine. And because of this, even if you are in ketosis, your urine is unlikely to show it. So even when you're on a strict carnivore diet, such as many of you, ketosis can fluctuate. The small amounts of carbohydrates from meat, seafood, and other animal products, along with natural bodily processes like gluconeurogenesis, which we've talked about before, can cause temporary drops in ketone levels. So as we're digesting and utilizing, our blood sugar levels go up, and then we drop out of ketosis. It's a natural cycling thing that we naturally cycle into and out of ketosis. It's not something to be concerned about. And so I know, Tanya, you were saying, should we aim to be at the higher end of the ketone levels with the strips? No, because everyone is so uniquely different and depends on the amount of exercise you're doing, the amount of stress you're on. The hormonal changes can affect ketone production and utilization. What works for one person might not work for another. So which they really make the ketone strips an unreliable measurement tool. Plus,
I
ketones
found
act.
it,
Yes, Tanya?
sorry, I just found it really interesting. I sent you the picture of it and what they were saying, have some more carbohydrates or whatever. It was just like designed for this diet, this sachet diet thing. It was really interesting. And when I saw what the sachets, what was in them, yeah, fascinating. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just a marketing tool as far as I'm concerned. So
right.
um, ketones act like hormones. They're messengers. So they message the mitochondria in your fat cells. And when the fat cells get that message, it makes your fat cells more active. And so this action makes the fat cells more metabolically active. So that's what the action with ketones is as far as fat burning and everything else. It's just a messenger. And so the thing with strips and as well as you can get breath monitors as well, they can give you a false sense of progress in a way, because you might see a decrease in ketone readings and think you're not in ketosis, even though your body is burning fat. And also, I would take this as if you're constantly measuring ketones, it can lead to excessive stress and obsession over the numbers, taking the focus away from the bigger picture of overall health and well-being. Also, I would say as a previous person who definitely had an eating disorder, I feel it can lead to yet another thing to obsess about. And so consequently, I would say to you is trust your body. Your body is an incredible machine that knows what it needs. Trust in the process and paying attention to how you feel, your energy levels, and also, you know, and your mood and overall health, far more critical than chasing ketone levels. So I hope that sort of eases your thoughts and everything, Tanya, because it's an important component to our health and well-being, and not being dependent on a gadget or a strip or someone else's things. And so this is why I'm so fanatical about our bodies being able to heal itself. And so I would like to actually, I've just realized we've welcoming in the food and frequency ladies. Welcome, welcome, those of you who haven't had a chat to. So we switch over now from being ultimate detox into food and frequencies. So welcome. Now, I've got Deb with me. So Deb Rock Evans, who's my fellow conspirator in the food and frequency journey. And so here she is.
Hello.
Here's Deb. So any of you who don't know Deb, can you share a little bit about you and why you're sitting here?
Why? Yeah, why am I the other half of food?
Yeah,
Good,
what?
please. Yeah, I know. Well, you're bringing in, I have to admit, she's the guru with the health stuff. So
No guru.
Karen, I've been working with Karen, much like Annette, probably not as long as Annette, but for quite a long time now, and I absolutely love what she does. And I'm a multi-passionate person who's really passionate about helping more and more people get empowered about taking their health and wellness into their own hands. A little bit about me. We sold myself and my husband and our son. We sold our house about 4 years ago. Sold up everything, bought a boat, moved up to the Bay of Islands. We run our own business there. We run a digital business. I'm in branding, websites, marketing, and I'm really passionate about helping people build their own businesses online as well. I'm basically a massive freedom fanatic. I really want to help empower everyone to take more, find the freedom in their lifestyle. And because our health is our wealth, and that's a big part of that. So I'm very passionate about working with people to set up their own businesses online so that they have alternative revenue streams to help empower them get through rocky periods, and it seems that our world's just getting more and more crazy, and that's a good thing to be doing. And the same with health. I see what's happening, in the allopathic system is under massive strain, and more people are waking up to the fact that it's not all in all effective. This big pharma in a way seems to cause more problems than it solves sometimes. So I'm really passionate to back people like Karen, who have been doing this for a very long time and are still relatively unknown, and they should be, they actually should be. You should be the next Barbara. What's the name? Barbara O'Neill of New Zealand.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. Absolutely, because what she does works, and I really do feel that we've got all of this within ourselves. We've got the power to heal ourselves, and we just need to believe in ourselves a bit more. Back ourselves, and not so much the so-called experts. So
yeah, and I think it's people like myself are just sharing what we've learned, and and I've had brilliant teachers, and so I just feel it's time that empower as many people as we possibly can.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And so, because it is a time for us to actually, as spiritual, physical, emotional beings, we need to basically take control instead of handing it over to anyone else.
That's exactly what it is. And that can be scary, and there's a lot to learn. Someone like Karen's been doing this well over 30 years. She's learned a lot in that time, as you all well know. And it's not something that just happens overnight. So it takes community, and it takes others sharing their knowledge, and it takes that personal responsibility to educate ourselves and empower ourselves little by little every day. And that's really what we want to achieve with this community.
Yeah.
We know it's not going to be a quick fix, but we want people to know that they've found their safe tribe online, that we can talk about things that are potentially maybe a bit more even controversial out in the big wide world. because they're not celebrated and they're not shared, and there's a reason for that. So, you know, to learn more, support each other, and to connect as well in our different regions and do things better, because not only is there a massive dependence on big pharma, but there's also a massive dependence on our food system, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're all going to supermarkets and look at what's available there. I mean, you know, I've often stick to the outsides of the aisles, but even then there's just so much crap in our food. So, you know, we'd really like this community to be able to help connect people up to local, you know, farmers, and come together in groups as well to enjoy discounts on better food and organic food and local food. And
yeah. So just as an example, I got approached by a guy who's starting a business of making and selling Wagyu beef tallow. And he approached me and said, you know, would you be willing to share? And of course, because, you know, let's face it, you know, it's really quite an interesting journey starting a new small business. Well, it's actually an interesting journey being a small business, no matter whether it's new or whether it's old, because keeping yourself out there is a really challenging thing. And so consequently, anything we can do to support small businesses, fellow practitioners, people who want to be out there helping one another, supporting one another, whatever, that is what our aim for this whole group network is about. So just so that you know, we have decided to make this network a not-for-profit network. So tomorrow we're going down and opening a bank account that's completely for food and frequencies. And so basically we'll be taking a small wage, but what we're planning is to be able to put any money that we get in that's excess, we're going to be putting back into the network for helping practitioners to grow, to helping, you know, various different things. We've got loads and loads of ideas, as you can imagine. You might have imagined that we've been talking about this a lot, and the more we write down, the more comes up.
That's narrowing it down a bit more and trying to stay focused. So should we take them through roughly the fundamental offerings of the membership?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
So, I mean, what we've just touched on there is we want to create, first and foremost, a positive environment to learn these strategies, to educate ourselves, to be more empowered and the best that we can be when it comes to our health and wellness. And another benefit of that is, and I think a common output from that will be getting off common addictions, you know, such as sugars and alcohol and, well, even devices and a number of things. So it's,
and also being addicted to work as well.
They're all addictions. Absolutely. Becoming healthier, like developing more healthy, clean eating habits, getting rid of chemical toxicity in our environments, and replacing it with natural and beneficial alternatives. And a lot of that is just understanding what is in these things and how they actually are harming us. Cleaning up our relationships and clearing out drama in our life. You know, that's something we'll be touching on too, and bringing in experts in those areas, you know, because we can't be everything. No, you're not everything. Finding joy in living again, and sparking our vitality. And, you know, a big part of that is like you say, not being a workaholic, finding more time to play. And it takes conscious habit building activities to actually do that, you know, because we are all we're all suffering from a lot of the same addiction stresses. Absolutely. Feeling more, I mean, ultimately one of the benefits is that we want everyone to feel more connected in this community and find support within this community as well. Making health more affordable and timely outside of the system as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's a big one, because so many people I've seen in lots of different groups have all been saying, well, natural health is so expensive. And really, it doesn't have to be. And so this is where we're sort of wanting to share the various different ways that you can really help yourself. I mean, obviously, there's high-end support, but there's also DIY support. And, you know, we're going to be offering courses and things like that as to ways of doing it yourself, of finding, you know, herbals and doing all different things. So we got so many things in the pipeline. And so we're going to be asked, we're going to be putting a poll in the group in the next few days to see where you want us to start, really, because we've got a list, as you know, we did a sort of brainstorming session a few weeks ago, and literally we've got enough content to last for years. So we're not going to be struggling with subject matter.
So we'd probably like more guidance from people as to where to start, you know, and go from there. Yeah. What's the most popular things to start with?
Yes.
But so in terms of how we're going to be doing this and coming together, so we're definitely aiming to have weekly calls, and those are going to look, there's going to be four different types really. So some will be, 1 week will be feature interviews, where we'll be talking to sponsors, to practitioners, facilitators, influencers, and generally on the topic or theme that we will have for the month. So we're going to try and, you know, have themes each month. Another live call will be panel discussions. And they're going to be quite interesting. We'll have a cycling, we'll have a pool of people who will cycle through, I think, in these panel discussions. And we're hoping that those are going to be, you know, because it's for members only, and it will be in a safe environment. We're hoping to have quite open and transparent debates, even, you know, because a big part of what we're hoping comes out of this network, we can't guarantee it, but we're certainly hoping for it, is to take away the overwhelm from all the misinformation and disinformation out there. And there are a lot of competing opinions on a range of these topics that we want to cover. And it would be actually quite fascinating to have these debates in a panel discussion, you know.
Because debates have become a lost art. And so I think that's another thing that we need to really be open with. Because, you know, I have my opinion about some things, and all of you will have an opinion, probably upon the same subject, that will be slightly different or even very different. And I think it's really important that we get to understand other people's opinion and where it comes from, and you know, and talk. Because I remember at school we had a debating society.
We did. And you don't seem to
do that anymore.
See it so much. Then there'll be community support and Q&A sessions similar to this. So that's, you know, bring your questions and on whatever those topics, themes are for the month. And then online practical workshops as well. And each time we do a workshop, those will add to our resources and the directory. So we're going to have a back end membership eventually. As soon as we can. For now, we've got the Facebook group, but we're building a back end. So you'll have your own logins, and so every time we deliver workshops, they kind of form parts of courses, and you know, a repository of all of that, which is great. So we want to have a lot of resources and courses available. There's a private online community, obviously, like I said, which is in the Facebook group initially. But we'd also like to have a directory of practitioners throughout New Zealand and possibly Australia. Seeing how that goes. Of people that you can contact, you know, in your local areas. Eventually we'll have national online events as well. But the main thing is resources, things like recipes, cooperative groups, like I touched on before, in
Yeah.
different areas, and courses, lots of courses, and of course we're hoping to get discounts through sponsors, you know, for recommended products and things that
So the more members we can get,
Mm.
the more buying power we will have. And so the object is so I've got a few suppliers who I've been using over the years, and I would love to be able to get discounts and things for you guys. And if I can say we've got so many members, they'll go, oh, okay.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah,
see the
that's
they'll
right.
see the value of working with us. And so that's where I think that's where we're aiming for. And so the more we have of you joining us, the more benefits we're going to be able to offer. So that's the object of it, really, because you may or may not have gathered is it's not about the money for us. It's definitely about community and definitely about empowering people to take their health and their wealth, which is the same thing as far as I'm concerned, and their life into their own hands. And so that's why I think, all of this is just ways of accessing the information and tools that are actually very readily available for people, So, okay. Anything else? We've got this long list, and
it's so much to cover, really.
Yeah.
Well, we could talk about the kind of what we think are going to be cycling themes for our monthly focuses. So they'll either come under the science of food and fasting, or they'll be food related, fasting related, detoxing related, things like that, including exploring the chemical constituents of our food and the different ways of fasting and their specific benefits. And then there's frequency medicine.
So frequency medicine comes in many guises. So we've got biofeedback, we've got scalar technology, we've got a lot of technologies, but we've also got a lot of healing techniques. We've got a lot of meditation techniques, and so many. So we're going to include that on a monthly basis too, because I think everyone knows now. They didn't when I started, energy medicine was woo-woo when I started, but now people are really getting the hang of the frequencies are really important, and it's coming up more and more and more. And so my intention with every day, I have an intention of keeping my frequency high, because I believe that if I keep my frequency high, then it enables anyone who I come into contact with to entrain their frequency. And so we all become part of the solution. And so that's my intention. That's the frequency part. And I think it's a very, very important component, because of course the frequency of our food makes a big difference too. The frequency of our water, the frequency of, well, our environment and stuff like that. And there's lots of things we can do to help with raising the frequency and also protecting our frequencies, because we've got all these 5Gs, and
we're living in a frequency soup.
We are. And so let's make that soup one that really suits us rather than one that doesn't. So we're going to aim with our discussions and everything, apart from the debates, and the debates will be debates, but our discussions is basically looking at ways of keeping everything positive, because it's very easy to get taken into these bad side effects, all this No, let's look at it. Right, okay, what can we do differently to not be affected by them?
Absolutely.
So I think that's my intention with it all, and I think that's what all our focuses and everything is all around that, really, isn't it? It's just keeping the frequency up. And we all have different ways and different things that raise our passion.
And that power really is within us, and many of us might not fully believe that yet, and so it's about taking you on that journey towards and that I'm talking about me too. I'm on that journey.
Well, I mean, it's actually trusting self, isn't it? Intuition and all that.
Absolutely. So with that frequency stuff, there'll be a lot. There'll be biofeedback. There'll be different modalities and things and technologies that we'll introduce you to. But ultimately, we hope that it's all going to come back down to that life force self-healing ability.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we're all capable of healing ourselves. And any of you who've known me for a while know that I've been working with frequency medicine machines and things for years, but what I've really come to know is they're just tools to enable us to recognize the fact that we can actually do it ourselves.
Yeah, that frequencies exist and they do affect us.
Yeah.
But the end goal is to be able to do it here ourselves.
Yeah.
That's exciting. That's really exciting. And integrating traditional and modern health practices as well, I suppose, is what we're looking at here.
I mean, it's the traditional herbal medicines, the sort of like acupunctures and all of those things are traditional, and then we've got new health practices with the biofeedbacks and energy medicines, and how do we integrate and how do we actually utilize them for the best way forward for our families, our friends, and ourselves. So that's just the monthly focusing. So anyway,
so there's a lot, isn't it? I mean, there's still more, and I don't know if we need to go through it all. I mean, so
we're planning on doing recipes and all sorts of, and maybe I'll do some cooking demos and things as well.
Cooking classes, there could be lots. So in terms of back to the sort of community and interaction ideas, we'd love to see and share success stories from our members, real life transformations and testimonials. The Q&A sessions, like we mentioned before, like this one, answering any common questions and concerns. There'll be monthly challenges, because each month's going to have a different focus or theme. So there'll be challenges around that to keep us all motivated and focused in on the same things. Interactive cooking classes. That could be fun, literally getting on a Zoom like this and all making the thing, whatever the thing is. That could be fun. And wellness workshops. So deep diving into.
So just so you know, one of my I trained as a chef, and when I was vegetarian, I used to do vegetarian cookery classes. I used to be for the UK Vegetarian Society. I was one of their cooks who used to do their cooking classes. So I used to do interactive, like real interactive cookery classes where people were in the room. So we can do the same online. There's no reason why we can't in our kitchens. And just have a bit of fun, because I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also we're going to be doing wellness workshops as well. So when I look at natural health and making remedies, it's basically like a chef just putting stuff together. So you will be doing exactly the same in your kitchen, making up some remedies maybe.
Remedies and like making our own chemical free cleaning products.
Absolutely.
Like that.
There's loads of things, and I'm sure we've got some experts in here in the group already that do that. So so we can do all those sorts of things. And so so quite
lots of things. So we thought what we'd do is put some of our initial ideas up in
a poll
in the membership group, in the poll, because we'd love to know what topics or themes are of interest to all of you to focus on first over the next few months.
So now, any questions that anyone really would like to ask us, because you know us, we love a chat. Anyone want to put their hand up and ask?
I haven't got a question, but I think it's fantastic.
Thank you, Mandy.
I do. I think this is going to be a lot of fun and really so much information shared by lots of different people. And I think it'll be a great community. We'll grow lots in this. I can see it.
I've got high hopes for it. I really hope it'll take off. And one key thing, part of that is we want to make it super affordable to be able for that to happen. Like we really want it to be accessible. To lots of people and to see the benefits that they get. So if you know anyone who you think might want to join us, please point them in our direction, because we like Deb said, I'm not very well known
and I know a lot of stuff, and I know I'm very good at what I do, even though I do say so myself. But I'm shadow banned.
Yeah.
On Facebook, I'm shadow banned. On Google, I'm shadow banned every which way. And so consequently, even if we did advertise with Facebook, we wouldn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
So you ladies
Not very fun.
and gentlemen, because there are a couple of gentlemen in our group, are basically advertising. And so we'd really appreciate it if you'd like to share the love and explain people. And also, if you can think of anything that you think, like any video that we've done or anything, any information that's come out that you think, that's on the Facebook group or anything, and you think this would be good shared, let us know, because we think we know what everyone wants, but of course we just know what we like, so we want it to be your group. It's not our group. We've just started it, and so we want it to be your group, and we want you to know and enjoy it and have fun with it and share it.
Yeah. Like, I've got a question for everybody. Do any of you have someone who springs to mind when we're saying, the type of people that we're trying to attract who have maybe been a bit negligent when it comes to their health and wellness and got wrapped up in the stresses and pressures of life and are finding now that they're feeling a need to focus on their health and have had some bad experiences already, or what's the word? Starting to lose faith or see the holes in the allopathic system, and are actually finding that for the first time they might be open to other alternatives and definitely open to learning more themselves. Does anyone spring to mind when I describe that?
I've got friends who I've been talking with, and probably one of the best things I've learned is, and I think I saw it on the Facebook page, describing when people say, "Oh, what are you doing?" I just say, well, it's a new way of eating for me. It's, instead of saying it's a diet or it's an elimination diet, I say it's a new way of eating that's really working for me, and I'm getting my health back, and I'm just, if you want to know more, I'm happy to talk to you about it. But but I love that it's a way of eating, and because it sort of takes away the stigmatism of, you're going to be so sick, you're going to have a heart attack, you're going to have all these things, and that's the first thing people say. What about your cholesterol? And so I just love that. I just think that's really good. And I think this group's fantastic. And I'm sorry I missed the beginning. I had to update my laptop because I'm not at home to actually get onto it. So is this group meeting just once a month or weekly? Or if I want someone to join, do they just join? Is it with the $20 joining fee, or how are we doing it? I'm sorry, I missed all that.
It's a really good question, Suzanne.
22.
Well, we're going to make it a lot clearer soon. You might have missed the bit when Karen said we're going to the bank tomorrow to set up a bank account together. And then we're going to have one link, so it's not confusing for signing up. But I suppose the main group to direct people to initially is Food and Frequencies for Holistic Health. So that's the free group. And that will be where, people can get a taste for what we're doing, and we'll promote the membership in there. Yeah.
And also maybe what we could do is we could maybe offer a month's free membership so people get to see what we do.
What we do in a month. Yeah, that's right.
So maybe we can.
You can just sign up if you want to do the detox, or if you want to do something else, you can actually just sign up and add it to your membership as you want.
Yeah. So like from my products, for example, for members, I'm going to always offer a discount on them.
Yeah.
So like we've done with the Ultimate Detox, for anyone who signs up before the start of the actual detox, which is on the 2nd of September, they get it for $107 a month for 6 months, which is actually nearly a third of the price of the usual price. So it's for 18 weeks. So I'm always going to be offering members discounts. So for example, we'll give you a discount code, and as long as you're a member, because they'll be changing monthly. So if anyone decides not to be a member, they won't have the updated discount codes and stuff like that. So we're always going to be offering that. And that, as I say, I'm hoping that if we have enough members, then we're going to have enough power. I don't like to say that word, power, but enough sort of buying power that we can influence.
Yes.
We can offer get discounts and stuff, because you know that would be ideal.
Yeah. And we're definitely going to have like promotional drives, you know, maybe quarterly or something, where we'll have something quite fun that will be easy to share to get a few more people interested in coming and giving it a try. It could be like the 5-day challenge to drop 2 kgs, or it could be you know, how to clear out all the chemicals, stuff out your pantry at home, you know, or get your family off junk food, or you know, how to kick the sugar, you know, kick sugar challenge or something like that, you know. So we'll always be coming up with ideas like that, which can be quite fun in terms of enrolling people, because
and there'll be prizes as well, I think, you know, good prizes, and so so that's always been a good.
If I could jump in there, I think that the 5-day thing is a really good way of doing it, instead of like a full month. A 5-day, it's not a commitment, but it's enough of a taster that people will get an idea in those first 5 days if they want to commit for longer or not.
That's a good idea, sir.
And I also, and just from some of the other discussions and even one-on-one discussions I've had with others, sometimes when there's too many, you know, when you've got a, say, 12-week program, if there's too many times throughout that program when people are starting, it can feel a bit disjointed, and you can, especially on these meetings, you can sometimes feel like, okay, this is now the 3rd time I've sat through the same conversation. So some of that feedback came through last time, that if you know that the next one's coming soon, you know, or that you might have a second one starting and overlapping on a different night of the week. You know? So when we all who start on the 2nd of September get to about halfway, then there might be the second one. So then we can we can become supportive if we want to jump on that call, but our call doesn't necessarily get completely hijacked by all the new questions. You know, I was the ultimate ask every stupid question. I bombarded, because that's who I am. And it's totally cool when you're totally new.
Absolutely.
I think it's quite good if you've actually got it staggered, but you could throw in those weeks where people can come and have a taste, and it keeps them interested long enough to wait for the next start date.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, there you go. That was my 2 cents.
Yeah, so with the ultimate detox, I think we're just going to we are going to start. It'll be separate, but it'll be 2 start dates a year.
Yeah.
So rather than just you jump on whenever, I think. So those of you who have started recently, your official start date starts on the 2nd of September. So you'll be in the group and everything for the 18+ weeks from then. Just letting you know. All right. So I hope that makes everything clear as it can be. And please, any ideas?
I was just going to say that.
We would love to hear from
We're
you.
happy to hear ideas, definitely. Be lovely.
Yeah. So, gosh, it's getting cold now.
Yeah. You haven't eaten, have you?
No.
How'd I guess that? Karen here forgets to eat sometimes.
Yes, I do.
So engrossed in your point.
Yeah.
I was going to say as well earlier, with the carnivore cooking class, you know, cooking classes, I think it'll be a bit more exciting than popping a lamb in the oven and watching it cook.
It's like that. You short gloves.
Right.
What we could do is we could do a pizza one. So we do the pizza base, and then we can talk. We can have another workshop in the middle of it. So we can go.
Yeah.
This is in the oven,
And
we-
make a sugar-free, non-alcoholic cocktail
yeah,
between while we're doing it. Yeah.
yeah. That's a good idea. And chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. All right.
It
All
was
right.
actually, if I could share something that I observed today, which was quite funny, I had a quick look on Neighbourly, which I occasionally do, and they do polls or they ask a question. And this one was, how do you control, how do you function with the excessive price increases of food? How do you keep your
Oh, yeah,
grocery
good
bill
one.
down? And I thought, okay, I'm going to re-squiz through, and I knew that there was like 128 comments, and I don't know how far I got in, but it's all the same, and it's made me realize that it's all by design.
Mm.
Yeah.
It is all by design. It's all legumes and rice. Fill everything with rice, fill everything with pasta, fill everything with chickpeas and beans. And so many people were saying, and stop buying meat, stop buying meat. And
Yeah.
Wow.
and
Yeah.
and I was just getting goosebumps just reading it. All the tips on the cheaper vegetables and cutting out things that, and the amount of people who said just stick to tofu, and all I could picture was inflammation everywhere and dis-ease everywhere and just discomfort everywhere. And it was like, oh my God, these people were winding themselves and each other up into this totally inflamed frenzy. And I was sitting there eating my steak.
No.
Having a wee read. There going, I'm gonna enjoy myself. And yeah, it's all by design. They want to make us sick. And
Absolutely.
as you ladies pointed out before, instead of getting caught up in all of that, actually just focusing on what we can do. And we're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. It's
So
the
the great thing
object
is
that
we're
really is
leading
the
by
object.
example.
Yeah.
When earlier on, I can't remember who it was now, said, the way of eating, and it is a way of eating. It's not a diet.
No, it's not that.
No.
When I'm standing there nearly 14 kilos, I think, darling, 14 kilos lighter and definitely looking better, you can't argue with that. I don't even need to say much, and it's really quite interesting. It's a bit of fun actually. Yeah.
It really is interesting, and the more I
Yeah.
research and the more you realize that we've been sold so many lies and so many directions that it just sort of like I wrote this thing about cholesterol today, and about how we need cholesterol to make estrogen, testosterone, and cortisol. And yet they've been giving drugs like Smarties to stop people having cholesterol.
Yeah.
And we also need cholesterol for brain function. So is it surprising that many people are not able to be healthy and feel good about themselves and everything else because all of their hormones and their brain function are gone out of kilter? And all we need to do is change the way we're eating and look at things in a different way. And it's interesting, Sarah, about you saying about cutting down the cost of eating.
Yeah.
I believe we've cut our food bill by at least half since doing carnivore. At least half. And
We don't go to the market as often either.
Yeah. And so there's all those extra costs, that you're not going in the car so often. So you're not you're not driving to the supermarket so often. You just don't have waste either.
No.
So we never throw anything away.
You don't fall for the specials
Yeah.
of all the crap. because you don't eat the cooked milk.
Yeah.
So you stick to your budget, don't you? It's like I just basically go to the butcher. That's all right. It's pretty much the only place I shop.
Yeah.
Go to the butcher, and now I'm getting my milk from my friend who's got a cow who's producing 8 liters of organic milk a week, and it's like, wow, fantastic! I'll have some of that.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we're going to make some cheese.
Gonna make some cheese next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That would
can
be a good cooking class. I
Yeah,
wanna-
wouldn't it? Yeah, because you can do really easy things like paneer, cottage cheese. You know, you don't need the cultures and things for that. It's just and that's a great protein base.
great for the bread.
Yeah.
Great for the flatbread.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all in all, it's just it's a fascinating world we're living in, and I will say this because we're lucky enough to be surrounded with beautiful people like yourselves. It helps us keep our frequency up, and it helps everyone around us. So everyone who's on this call at this present moment in time or watching this, you'll be raised in frequency because everyone's frequency has been raising, and so consequently it has that knock-on effect, and so
Makes it easier to go out into the big bad world.
big bad world and send our message
Yes.
by, as you say, Sarah, by example.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that it's ever going to go through. I mean, let's face it, since I've been doing the carnivore 4 years, I've had so many people join me, which has been fantastic. But, you know, the people who are naysayers and things aren't such naysayers anymore. So, yeah, so just, and there's some amazing people coming out of the woodwork too, which is fantastic, you know, with all their research and everything else. And so the more we do it, the more research comes out, the more we can share, the more we can just improve. So a constant state of improvement is what I think we are. So all of us, every
even
single
my
one.
mum is going to try it, and that's just out of this world. So
Fantastic.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
Well, I'm heading down to Wellington soon to spend time with my mum, and I'm hoping to get her to try as well.
Yeah.
She's still very stuck in that whole, oh, we can't have too much, cut the fat off, cut the fat. No, mum. Get it down you.
well, maybe when you come this way, we should catch up.
Yes, definitely, Sarah. That'd be great. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I'll be down for a few months, so it'll be nice.
It's cool.
And imagine if all the rest homes went carnivore.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. I
How
know.
many would
Yeah.
be strutting their stuff in the street, 6 months later instead of being in there?
Absolutely. Wouldn't
So-
it be a wonderful experiment?
I know, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Mm.
That would be so cool. Yeah.
Well, if our network gets big enough, we'll have a lot of members who can start infiltrating the the retirement villages and go and take over their catering.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Definitely, and hook them up with the farmers, with the organic beef straight off.
1-1.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, that's the world we're manifesting,
that's
guys.
the world we're manifesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, my lovelies. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for your energy, for your input, and for being here.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you all.
Yeah.
Some of you I haven't met before. Yeah.
Awesome. Have a magical week, everyone.
You
See
too.
you
Thanks,
soon.
Bye.
Amy.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.